Alright, welcome back to Say Your Health Matters. Yes, it is Pinnacle at Radio. I remain Samuel Alabi, and if you've consulted a popular chat, that health is really wet. It's really a serious case when we have to look around and see that a lot of us out there are actually ignorant of information that should be at our fingertips. And one of this information that we believe is causing a lot of pain in the community today, especially to our parents that actually are not really aware, is one of the case of childhood cancer. It's majorly something, a lot of us are familiar with adult cancer. I remember last week we had a video interview on the street and we were trying to ask people what did they actually know about cancer, and it's really shock to us when you heard somebody saying that cancer is a parasite. Even somebody saying that when the woman, the ladies are exposing their breast, it made them don't have cancer. And it's a wonder when people are saying when you touch somebody, you are going to have cancer, which means out there we are really ignorant of information. Today, we'll be looking at childhood cancer, and our guest is live with us today on the show. Our guest is a clinical radiation oncologist. She is committed to improving the survival rate of cancer patients in Nigeria. She's a member of several international oncology associations, and she's constantly updating her vast database of cancer knowledge with frequent attendance of international cancer conferences, courses, and training. Right now, she's a founding board member and the director of Dr Foundation. Yes, Dr Cancer Foundation is a non-profit organization that is aimed to provide help to children with cancer in Nigeria. Here we have today with us live in the studio, Dr AdedayoJoseph. Hello, doctor.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right, doctor is here. We're here today. Dr AdedayoJoseph. How are you doing today, doctor?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, I just want to believe, are we clear?
Yes, I said I'm good, except for the cough. Thank you.
All right, the cough got to go right now. Yeah. All right, I'm so sorry that I didn't share announce my co-host today. Hello, Anita.
Hi.
All right, hi people. This is more of online. I wish me never. A lot of people are tuning in and connecting with the house live today. We have Dr AdedayoJoseph. You know, doctor, I really want to appreciate you that we have somebody that we can point to when we see people who really want to pop out on matters of childhood cancer. I was not impressed on the International Day of Childhood Cancer in Nigeria. Actually, we couldn't see much media focus on it when you relate it with breast cancer and cervical cancer. So my question is going to be, why is cancer really affecting our child these days?
I don't know. I can't answer the question as to why it's affecting children. There's no real reason.
Okay.
There's no real answer to that question. What we try to focus on is raising awareness to make sure people know that children can survive.
All right.
You know, when they're treated, and in fact, childhood cancers tend to have a better prognosis than adult cancers. And so that's why we work very hard to make sure that people are aware. Because, as you know, many times in Nigeria, when a child is ill, what the parents end up doing is going to church and going to a prayer house and looking for alternative therapy. Okay. So we're just trying to send the message out there that, listen, treatment saves lives, and you know, these children can survive.
All right, so I was saying that the cancer of a child is different from the cancer of the adult.
Yes, childhood cancers are different. The types of cancer that children have are different from the types that adults have. Okay. It's the same organs. It's still the same, you know, still the same kidney, the same liver, the same nerves, the same brain, the same blood. However, the specific types of cells that become malignant in children are different from the types that become malignant in adults. So it's not the same cancers. They're different types.
Different kind of cancer. Majorly, we are familiar with the aspect of adults. Actually, when they flaunt the rules of lifestyle. So they flaunt that. We know there's a genetic aspect of it, but adult flaunting the rules of lifestyle actually can be a victim of all this cancer. But to a child that is a year to 3 years, it's more of parent not even looking at the aspect, why would my child have cancer?
So we are very particular about making sure that people know that it's not anybody's fault. It's not the parents' fault. I mean, there are some risk factors that can predispose it. And for a lot of these things, the research is still ongoing. You know, there are people that talk about smoking, paternal smoking, or things like that. But generally, it is mostly genetic. And genetic doesn't always mean inherited. Genetic just means that there's something that goes wrong in the molecular level, at the cell level, and that causes that. So it's not really, like I say, it's not something that you can really prevent.
Okay.
Truthfully, all you can do is detect it early and treat it properly. Now, if one child in a family does develop a cancer, then the parents of that child know that the other children, they also have to be extra vigilant. So that's what I would say.
So is it really that easy to detect? When you see a 3 years old having is it leukemia? Because I was told the most popular is leukemia.
The most common, yes.
The most common. So how would parents actually be able to detect this thing?
What happens with children? It's fortunate and it's unfortunate. It's fortunate because children do get ill, and unlike adults, they don't pretend. They don't hide it and keep going and all of that. So what happens is, parents can't tell when their children are ill. Parents can't. They know. Okay. And I tell people all the time that even an uneducated woman who has never been to school for a day in her life can tell you that my child isn't feeling well because she has raised that child from when he was a day old to now that he's... And, there's the instinct, there's the parental instinct, maternal instinct that people have. So usually a mother can tell you that something is going on here. There are signs to look out for.
Okay.
A child that is always tired, a child that doesn't have an appetite, a child who is losing weight, a child who bruises easily, or a child that has a small injury and the bleeding won't stop when you expect it to stop. And what usually happens in these cases is that there is a normal. You know your child and you know that, okay, he can fall down and get up and keep running. But now he just has a minor bump and he's knocked out. So usually you can tell that something is wrong here. And then it's for you to take the child to a hospital and have him properly checked out. And I say all the time, if you've been going to the hospital repeatedly and the same thing keeps recurring, then you need to get a second opinion.
So what is going to be the second opinion? Because
you need to see a different doctor and get someone else to examine that child and investigate the child again. Of course, we're going to look for the common things first. If I tell you that, this boy has a fever, I'm going to think of malaria first. I'm going to think of an infection first because that's what children commonly have. Now, when I've treated the malaria and I've treated infection and he's still ill and we've done other things and he's not getting better, it's time to go somewhere else and have another person take a look. Just like if my car is bad and my mechanic has been trying to fix it for 3 weeks and he's not getting it right, I will look for a different mechanic and see if there's something that the first mechanic is missing. And that's how it works.
All right, it's still at Matters this morning with Dr. AdedayoJoseph, a clinical radiation oncologist. We're still looking at childhood cancer, why it's really prevalent, especially right now in the city, and most of the things parents how they need to know. We'll still be right back after the short break. Don't go away. Remember, you can tweet at us this morning at Pinato@Haro, or you can follow us also on Facebook. We are live on Facebook and Instagram, so you can send your message through those platforms if you have a question you need to throw at our guest this morning. All right, welcome back to Set Matters, and we are still with Dr. AdedayoJoseph of the Doctors Cancer Foundation. Back to you, Doctor. I remember the time where a woman actually had a death fever, actually in the child, and it took him. I think she took the baby to a hospital, and they were treating the baby for fever. And along the line, I think more treatment seems that this thing is actually not working. And because you said that they should go for second screening. So, in Nigeria, you can't tell a woman to actually take our baby to a second hospital. I was saying that our clinic right there, they don't have the equipment to detect childhood cancer early.
I don't really know about that. When you say you can't tell her to take her to, I disagree because doctors refer patients all the time. Okay. If you go to a hospital now and you're not feeling well, they can tell you, oh, this is something that needs to be treated at a tertiary hospital, and they refer you to Luth. Or refer you to a general hospital that a private hospital isn't equipped. So it's not really about equipment. The truth is that you need a specialist to treat cancer of any kind. So if the doctor even suspects that it's a cancer, first of all, he's going to have to do some investigations to confirm what it is, and he needs to get that child into the hands of a specialist immediately. So the truth is, any responsible doctor who suspects a cancer in a child will most likely refer you. Now, what I'm even saying is that if even when the doctor doesn't refer,
okay,
if you've been treating this thing over and over and it's not getting better, if I tell you that you're asthmatic and I'm treating you for asthma, you've been coming to my clinic, you're coming all the time for asthma, and you're not getting better, it's just logical that you will seek someone else who might have a different solution. And patients do that all the time. Nigerians especially, go shopping for doctors all the time. So I really don't think that people are afraid to seek a second opinion. I think one of the things that is easiest to do is to get a second opinion.
So can childhood cancer be prevented?
No, it can't be, because you don't even know. There are risk factors, like I said, but most of them are not preventable. Cancer in general, beyond things like cervical cancer, and things the ones you can screen for early, colon cancer, cannot be prevented. How you can't prevent pancreatic cancer or liver cancer? Okay, well, you can't prevent liver cancer if you don't smoke and you don't drink and you don't have a viral infection. But cancer in children can be prevented. What can be done is for them to be detected early and properly treated.
Well, I think people will get that. It can only be detected early. So parents out there should not just get to a point whereby you are seeing your child feeling a fever and it keep occurring over and over the time. What is government take on matter like this? Because I've even experienced a situation whereby children could not, a lot of children died due to this because they could not afford the funds, the capital that comes in place when treating the cancer.
Well, I don't sit here representing the government, so okay. I can't speak for what the government.
Yes.
I can't speak for what the government.
But are you getting support from government? Is government actually doing something?
And what I say all the time is that the government can't do everything. Right. There are very few countries where the government is solely responsible for all of healthcare and the healthcare system works.
Wow.
When that is the case, it usually doesn't work. So what the government can do is provide an environment that is enabling for private investors to invest in healthcare, for private hospitals and people for them to thrive. That's just my own opinion. Yes, but like I said, I don't represent government. Yes, children do die because parents can't afford children. There are many children that are taken home because there are even some that start and then they have to abandon treatment because as a parent, if your child is ill, you can't work. You're in the hospital looking after the child. Your business shuts down. You're spending money every day. So it's just a vicious cycle where there's no income and the little that you have, you spend it all. So that does happen. And, there are a lot of people, a lot of organizations now who are trying to, break that cycle. I know. But I can't, I don't know. I really can't give a definite solution to that problem at this time.
All right. Back to you, Anita.
Hi. So basically you said about liver cancers for adults, you can, but I've read of cases where somebody hasn't smoked a day in their life, they haven't been around smokers, and they still get lung cancer, which is this similar thing that happens to children. They couldn't be around all these factors, but yet they still get it. So in situations like that, when you have parents just wailing and crying about what could I have done to prevent it, what can you say to help them feel better? Because it's usually one of the factors that helps children, the emotional and psychological well-being of the child and family.
Okay, so I think I answered that already when I said it's important. We always make it clear to parents that it's not their fault. Like he asked, can they be prevented? And I said, no, you can't prevent all the cancers. It's difficult for me to say how do you prevent it. You can't. What you can do is detect it early and treat it properly. It's not the parent's fault. It's not anything. If a child is having cancer at 11 months old, they haven't been exposed to any carcinogen for long enough for that to be the reason why the child has developed the cancer. Of course, you have to make healthy choices. You shouldn't smoke around your children. You shouldn't, you do have to make healthy choices. But that's not, with the vast majority of them, you cannot identify something that will say this is the reason why this child has developed cancer. And like you said, same thing with lung cancer. Of course, you shouldn't smoke. Of course, you shouldn't do those things. And there are people who smoke every day for, every day, 30 cigarettes a day, and they live to the ripe old age of 100 and die healthy. And then you have a 30-year-old young woman who's never smoked a day. But that's also because tumor biology is very varied. There are different types of lung cancer and different types of biology with each one of them. So it also depends on the type that you're talking about here.
All right, this was going to be the last one. Let's hear from Doctor. What are you going to tell if you're giving just like a minute or 2 minutes to talk to parents out there? this childhood cancer is here, you should know this and you should do this. What are you going to say?
Well, no parent wants to really. The truth is, even as a parent myself, I don't want you to talk to me and tell me to look for cancer in my child. No parent really wants to think about that. But what I say all the time is a rare disease is only rare until it affects you. So what I would say is that treatment saves lives, you know, and for you to get treatment, you do have to find it early and go to the right places. Only a specialist should treat cancer. Only a pediatric oncologist should treat a child that has cancer. If you've been going to the hospital repeatedly and the child isn't getting better, get a second opinion. Make sure that you're being seen by a qualified pediatrician and ask your pediatrician to refer you if you're not getting results, if your child isn't improving. So that's what I would say. And I would end by saying treatment saves lives.
All right, that is it from Dr. AdedayoJoseph, the Executive Director of Doctors Cancer Foundation. Really glad having you today on Health Matters. All right, this is Pinnacle Health Radio, number one Health Radio. Don't go away. You have a lot from Dr. AdedayoJoseph, and I believe you are going to work on this information and do the right thing.